Hey folks, welcome back to Mr. Yacht Plays Final Fantasy IX. In this video, I'm going to do the conclusion of the file, and I am so excited. It has been a pretty long journey, about 62 hours of a game file, but when you think about the requirements for a 100% file, perfect stats Excalibur II, that's what happens sometimes. I also decided to get all the PlayStation trophies. There are two that you cannot see as far as this clip because I have not gotten them yet, but immediately after you'll see the acquisition of two particular trophies around jumping rope, and then the final one, which is to complete the game, and that will net me the platinum trophy. Before that, I wanted to show what's going on with the characters just so you can see. So for this, when I define perfect stats for myself, perfect stats is someone with their ordered stats prioritized without any gear on. So when I go to the status menu for a character, you'll see that all of my characters have the max experience, and that is actually just a side effect of having to kill 10,000 enemies for a trophy. But if you're looking specifically at the left here, you can see speed, strength, magic, and spirit for every character. It's going to be a certain amount of numbers. And then I've decided to put on their default weapon just to show this is the base character with their maximum stats. As far as Vivi goes, he's a mage of course, but here we are. So I'm just going to show each of the characters just so you know that they have their max stats, they have their weapon equipped. And then you'll see when I switch over to the others that they have the same thing. What I want to point out is there is definitely a way to prioritize the HP and MP of characters. I did not necessarily focus on that, so I wouldn't say it's optimized perfect stats, because I could have done, let's say, if I have a character that focuses on strength, I could have done strength first, which would have given me the optimal maximum health for that character, and then magic for the others to get the optimal maximum MP. So my goal wasn't to do a fully optimized route, otherwise I probably would have spent way more time on this. I am very content with what I see as far as the characters go. The note I want to add is around Quina, because Quina has several different methods. Quina can attack physically, Quina can use blue magic, so you have to decide what to do. For me, I actually decided to do combined stats for Quina just to give a more well-rounded character. I can max out the spirit at 50 using items, so it's not really that big of a deal. Quina is the only one that I did ordered stat, or I did not do ordered stats, so it's just one thing to keep in mind. But now that I've shown my mages, now I can switch over to my final party, which is Zidane, Steiner, Freya, and Amaranth. I quite enjoy these characters a lot, and you can see they all have a lot of health, so fights are pretty much a sweep at this point, especially where we're at. We have perfect stats, we have all the items, we're ready to go. Final boss, no problem at all. So here's the final review. We have Zidane, we have Steiner, we have Freya, and we have Amaranth. So that's the perfect stats, and you can validate this with online guides and things of that nature, but perfect stats ultimately was equipping gear that adds plus value to strength, magic, spirit, or speed, depending on your flavor. And of course, with the ordered approach, we want to focus on what that character specializes in. So Zidane, Steiner, Freya, Amaranth are strength characters. They attack physically a lot. Then when you're thinking about Vivi, Garnet, Eiko, they are magic characters. And then Quina, of course, has a mixture. So you can decide ordered for Quina being ordered physical or ordered magical, or you can do combined, which is just give optimization of everything. So lots of options out there. The other part, of course, is talking about the items themselves. So 100% would also mean getting all of the items in the game, keeping in mind that from the use tab perspective, for me it's at least having one of every item in the game. So as you go down, you are checking that you have all of the thief swords, all of the blades, all of the swords for Steiner, all of the spears, the claws, the rackets, rods, flutes, staves, forks, and then all of the arm accessories, the helms, the body, and the add-ons. Quite a journey, let me tell you. A lot of stuff that we had to get, but we made it. The other part, of course, is the key items, and like I said, the key items I'm missing, of course, is King of Jump Rope, since I have not done that yet. But I also want to point out that there are key items that are no longer obtainable because you're going to sacrifice them for something else. So when you're doing the key item search, you kind of have to decide. If you get the 3 coffee beans, do you turn those in? Yes or no? That's going to matter. So you have to keep that in mind when you're determining your key items, what you want to do. But for me, of course, I just exchange everything to meet the storyline perspective. And that actually covers everything. This is all the items. This is what I feel is necessary. Also, here are all the cards. That's right. We have all the cards in the game as well. You can only have a max stock of 100. So truly, the max is 1 of every card. Now, to increase your collector level is a whole different journey. That's not something I'm focusing on because I'm not doing a perfect game. But I am doing a 100% file, so we had to get all the cards. And that was fun. Besides that, I feel pretty awesome about my journey with this game. This is the most thorough I've been with it thus far. And it was really fun. It was a nice challenge. And I'm glad that it's the PS4 version so I can speed things up, because it would have taken me even longer than it did to get this entire thing played through. So I'm glad for everyone to join me on that journey, and hopefully you learned something, and if you're using this as a resource, then I hope it benefits you. Besides that, the last remaining things for this, we are going to go ahead and get our jump rope on, and then we will transition into the final fight. So I will talk to you later. I talked about King of Jump Rope a lot. I do not have it at this time, but here is me getting the 100 jump achievement. I might revisit this later, but we will have to see. Enjoy! Time for the end of the game. Kuja is finally going down. Here we go. Surprise! There is another enemy to take down. This is Necron. Necron is the final boss of the game. The battle music is awesome! Hey, we did it! Everything in the game is done except 1,000 jumps. Again, we will see if I make that achievement and upload it separately. Otherwise, that will end this series and I will transition back to my other videos. I hope you enjoyed this series.